Welcome to my channel, where we question everything. Today's topic is why I disagree with everybody, and I promise this will be my final, really my final video about why I disagree. Unless, except one thing. Let anybody again bash the Germans, and then I will make a why I disagree a video about that. But that will be the only reason why I make this video. Now I've been following, let me see. I've been following events, world events, for the last 25 years. And I watched Crosstalk, I read RT, sometimes I listen to Alexander Mercouris, listen to lots of other people, but it was always like more or less as I got time between normal life, business, work, family responsibilities, etc., etc. And then about a couple of weeks back, I decided to enter the YouTube sphere. And my initial plan was actually not to do what I'm doing now. I've told you about my friend, and my friend basically, we know each other a long time ago. We had many argumentative discussions. We trolled each other, we badmouthed each other, etc., etc. But nobody of us took it very seriously, and I thought it would be very fun. And it would be a fun video to make. Instead of just talking over the phone for an hour, 2 hours, hey, why not make a realistic type of video about that and then put it onto YouTube? But unfortunately, my friend decided no, he's not ready for that type of exposure, or doesn't want to do it for whatever personal reason is. And then I decided to go ahead and make these videos, expressing my opinion. And my first, as you can see, I have various topics and various type of playlists that I wanted to do. But I got stuck with the military situation in Ukraine, and then naturally the outflow of politics. And then, well, I started to listen again to Larry Johnson. I read his articles, saw him on RT, looked at the Seika, read his articles, listened to Duran, listened to that, and Brian Berletic, and some other more as well. Some other pro-Russian narrative, because I thought, okay, they were talking sense. But because I make my own videos now, I didn't read superficial anymore. I didn't always just believe and take it for granted what they said. I did my own research, and I got to some of my own conclusions, and I realized that these guys are also talking nonsense. Very similar to what the pro-Western narratives are talking. Both parties are living in their own bubbles. If the situation changes, then they don't adjust their narratives. They take every single news event and try to make a story out of that, even if it's non-events, which I have many times pointed out. Ursula von der Leyen's admittance of 100,000 is a non-event. The missile in Poland is a non-event. The recent meetings now of Lavrov and Putin and Sergey in Minsk in Belarus is a non-event, really. It's not what these people are trying to make. And then I had to hear from if and maybe and I don't know, and I think it's going to be like that, and it's all speculations. And I mean, if you want to make an analysis, then at least support your analysis with certain facts. And if you don't have facts, then don't talk about it. A typical example would be, don't even consider talking about the news item that Russia is buying 155 artillery, 152 artillery rounds from North Korea. That is stupid. It's a clear propaganda issue. It's like enticing. It's bullshit. It's a waste of time. And because I started to read more, then I started to realize that these guys are not doing it more. And I will give you an example. You see this? This is two hands. What do you see? You see this one, the front side. Well, I don't see the front side, I see the rear side. And this is the pro-Western side, this is the pro-Russian side. And this is what you see, and I see the other side as well. Do this, and I see the front side, and I do that, and I see the rear side. And I do this, and I watch the rear side, and I watch the front side. But these two groups, these pro-Western groups and the pro-Russian groups, only see the one side, and the one side that they want to see. And I've expressed it many times before, that they don't believe what Western media said. No. They're all talking rubbish. No. Everybody. But when the Western media says something that fits their narrative, then suddenly they quote that piece. And then they try to support their own narrative and validate it. What? Validated by a Western media source that you have said so many times you don't believe because they are lying. So what's the credibility of your source then? So you're not validating, you're bullshitting yourself. And you're bullshitting the viewers as well. That is what you are doing. So naturally, I thought to myself, okay, let's have a virtual night of sitting around a fire, barbecue, two friends talking about each other and disagreeing at a certain point. No. That is not right. The funny thing is that all these videos that do make, well, why I disagree with Gonzalez, who's an idiot, who's living in a fantasy world. He did write books and games. He should rather stick to that and talking to the proper news channel. But in any case, as soon as I make these videos, I get a lot of dislikes. I get a lot of views, but a lot of dislikes. And I get a couple of comments. Why? Because you don't agree with what I'm saying? Have you even thought about what I said? No. Because if you know what you are doing, and if you listen, you can identify propaganda on the pro-Western side, and surely you must be able to listen to the propaganda on the pro-Russian side. You should be able to hear, but this is, I think, I can't know, I can't verify, maybe, I don't know. But they are there to have the second front. So I listened what this weekend. Oh yeah, by the way, just for India's sakes, I live in South Africa. I have between 6 and 8 hours blackouts every single day. And we're not even in a state of war. But Ukraine is collapsing. The infrastructure is gone. They have no electricity. They have no heating. Well, if they don't have no heating and no electricity, then they should have been at least 1 million dead by now. But they aren't. So what the hell? Anyway, guys, so let's that's why sometimes I make 3 or 4 videos a day, and then I try to schedule it so you have at least a video per day to view. But that's beside the point. So in any case, so in those blackout times, I still have internet, yes, because I have a battery pack on the internet. And then I started to, okay, so I listened to, what was it, the Envoy or the podcast, whatever, of the Gaggle. And Larry Johnson was on that specific one. And Peter Lowell and George, I don't know, this surname is very difficult for me to say. But if you watch the Gaggle, then you know what they're. And what I listen to is that they like flipping small children there. Getting joy about, like 2 children, yeah, see that idiot there, he doesn't know what he's doing. And then you went down, and my dad is bigger than your dad and stronger than your dad, and he will nail it, like typical God. I couldn't believe it that these adults were actually talking like that. I wanted to make a video, but I decided I'm not going to make a video. This is my last video on why I disagree. It's a final ever version, unless you bash the Germans. Then Larry comes even with this ridiculous story about NATO only expanded because the old NATO, the Western countries like Germany and France, they don't have enough soldiers and so on. So if they bring in the Balkans and so on, then they can provide new soldiers for NATO. And that's the only reason why NATO expanded to the east. And then you want to believe these idiots. Really. Look, Larry makes some good arguments in his articles. He writes some brilliant articles, got no problem with that. Sometimes he makes a certain statement. But this podcast with Gail, if that is his true character, then I have to start doubting all the rest as well. And then you listen to, Andrei Martinov. Always bashing everybody else except himself. Everybody knows nothing. That is a childlike behavior. You wouldn't expect it from a grown-up person. You expect it from an analyst who presents himself as an analyst, at least a balanced type of view. Not everybody's talking bullshit and know nothing about strict. Andre knows nothing, to be honest. I've watched him twice on RT. He sits there with a mouthful of teeth and only talks the same shit every time. Brian always tries to, Brian Braylet, always tries to go and verify his stories by Western media, which no one believes and everybody rejects. But if it suits him, then pops your uncle. And Alex, I don't even talk, I don't even listen to him. And Alexandra, maybe, you got it right, yeah, I fully agree with you. But next time somebody else says something different, I fully agree with you, he's contradicting his own story in the previous session. The problem is, if you don't know this, I do remember it. I have a good enough memory to know precisely what you have said 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, and what you said the other day. I've caught him out so many times. Then maybe, I don't know, yeah, I think, I can't verify, but I believe. You either know or you don't know, and if you don't know, then shut your mouth. You have a responsibility towards your viewers. You earn money from your channel, therefore you have a responsibility. Own that responsibility. Do your homework. It's like when Duran goes, they read some, headings of articles. And then they think they know what's going on. And they talk the same story, grabbing at every single piece of news, trying to make a big issue out of that. Well, they have to, because they have to produce a video every day. Is it an informed video? No, it's not. How many predictions have Alexander made? Nothing happened. But, according to my commentators, I should believe them. I'm talking nonsense. Well, that's your prerogative. I can go on and I can annihilate them in their arguments in every single session that they produce. But do you want to hear that? No, I don't want to hear it and I don't want to produce it. It takes too much effort and it's a one-sided, and then I get this response. I'd rather do my own subject, or I don't do something else. I do something else. The problem is that I don't really care if you watch my videos or not. I'm doing this for fun. And if 5 people watch my video, I'm quite happy. And if you don't agree, then too bad, my videos are not for you. It's not my problem. You want to listen to bullshit, then go listen to these guys. Go read the Western media. Go read the pro-Russian media. Oh, yes, Colonel. Douglas McGregor. Have you ever listened to the guy? He regularly talks on Judge Napolitano's show and so on. I've listened to him. Hey, I'm sorry to say, but that's a cowboy. A cowboy that shoots from the hip. He made a couple of statements about, the Polish mercenaries in Ukraine, they were instructed to do something by the Ukrainian forces, and then they refused to say, no, I'm not going to there. And then they caused an argument, and the Romanians shot the Ukrainian Azov right sector type of people, soldiers, and then killed them. I found that article. Yes, I did find that. But he made another statement that at that same time, Romanian soldiers were actually the new recruits and they were watching it, but I couldn't find any articles. And trust me, I looked over a long time for that. So I watched him. So Colonel McGregor is expecting an attack, a second front from Belarus. He's talking about 550,000 troops. What? Yes, the total Russian forces currently in active in Ukraine is 550,000. But he talks about combat troops. No, they are not combat troops. Only 75,000 of the new recruits are basically on the front. And now they're all combat troops. I'm not totally sure because there is no real information about that. But according to him, it seems like, hey, the Russians are going to enter from Belarus and tackle Kiev. Why? Why would you do another front in Kiev so much with so many logistical problems? Does he? I listen to that story. I listen to his numbers. He throws numbers around as he would go and makes, you know, I know people like that. I've experienced many guys like that. People that shoot from the hip, make a lot of statements and so on, in my field of engineering, and then he makes statements, and we have to, my colleagues then have to think about, oh yeah, is that true or not true, and so on. It takes a little bit of time to determine. But he goes ahead and our managers believe this guy, and he was top notch and so on. But then we go back to our office and we talk about it, and we do some calculation, and we realize this guy is talking nonsense. But he was so confident in throwing those numbers around, and Colonel Douglas McGregor is a person like that, a very powerful, enforcing, intimidating type of character. But God, sometimes he talks shit. But it's not my problem. Because I'm not going to talk to these guys anymore. Or about them. It's your prerogative, not mine. I'm not going to waste my time about that. Anyways, that's my story for today. This is my last one. My utter last one of why I disagree. The pro-Western narratives that I've mentioned are also living in a bubble, talking about the same story every day, trying to find validating articles that fits a narrative. You know, it's no, I'm not going to finish. No, let's carry on. So we're talking about the meat grinder. So the Ukrainian forces are attacking every day. The Russians are defending and bombarding with artillery, and then 50, 100 Ukrainians die, and that's a meat grinder, and shit, this is bad. The Ukrainians are losing. They're using equipment, they are losing manpower, they are losing everything. That's the pro-Russian narrative. But don't the Russians lose manpower? Don't the Russians lose equipment? Don't the Ukrainians have artillery pieces? Don't the Ukrainians have UAVs? Or is every commander of the Ukrainian forces stupid? And is every commander of the Russians like a Superman, the ideal warrior? So no Russian tanks are blown up. No Russian artillery is destroyed. Nothing. No. That's the meat grinder. So when the Ukrainians attack, then it's wrong. They're losing manpower. But if the Russians attack on the front of Bakhmut, that's going on. That's a favorite topic of the Duran. Going on for 4 months, 5 months, and nothing is really happening there. Yes, it's a slow progress. But it's a non-event. It's not a battle that happened yesterday and so you have to talk about that because tomorrow they have besieged a city like Mariupol and so on. No. It has been going on for a long battle. It's not really a battle that has been supported for how long. is being, according to the information, by Wagner Group. And maybe one company of division or whatever by the Russians. No, not the Russians. Actually, the Donbas militia, if I remember correctly. Bakhmut, strategic. Has anybody ever looked at the railway network of Ukraine? Why is Bakhmut such an important strategic point? I don't know. There's no big railway network. What? And then people talk, oh shit, yeah. Oh, the Ukrainians are pushing in more men into Bakhmut, so somehow they must be thinking that that is important. People, please ask yourself, are we in a kindergarten fight, or is this war? If the one guy comes for you from this angle and he's attacking you, then surely you must defend that point and counter him. Or should you run away and say, let's go, I don't want to fight here, I want to fight there, 200 kilometers away. No, you go. If you don't defend your position, then this guy is going to come over, and then how do they say, the balls create the balls, or salient, or flipping whatever fancy names the English people have. Oh shit. What happened yesterday evening or the weekend? Donetsk city is bombarded, incredible. Since more than in the 8-year period since 2014. And a hospital is damaged, and another section of the hospital is damaged, and a school is damaged. When is Russia going to focus on driving back those Ukrainian troops that are still bombarding Donetsk city? Shouldn't that be a priority? Shouldn't that be a... No. But I've got to listen. I've got to listen to these experts. They're just as fake as the pro-Western. If Larry Johnson, with his statements, was a CIA operative of analyst, and he told his superior the same bullshit stories he sometimes, not always, sometimes talk, then surely the CIA couldn't demand a lot of respect. What else can I bitch about? You know, sometimes when I talk about the story, I have lots of ideas in my mind, and when I come and sit here, then I usually forget half of the stuff. But that's in any case a different story. In any case, so let's call it a day. I'm not even going to ask you to subscribe to the channel. You know what to do in a YouTube channel. You either want to listen and get notified, you don't. It's your prerogative. So until next time, cheers.